Hey guys, welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot, and welcome to a psychic tarot reading. It's gently raining here in the pine forest, and I've got a couple of decks that I've shuffled up for you, and I was just absentmindedly shuffling this deck that I made full of stories. And this card just kept popping up, so I think it wants to be talked about. We got card number 75, Morpheus, Neo, the red pill, and the blue pill. This is from the Matrix, as everyone knows. This is what um, the Buddhist community calls a Dharma movie. When you realize the nature of reality, what do? I've got a few cards in this deck that is having a hard time talking. Um, I really like the lesson, don't cast pearls before swine. I think there's a lot of layers to this lesson, so I made a lot of different cards about it. This one is a don't cast pearls before swine card in the context of not everyone is ready to be unplugged from the matrix. So this card encourages you to keep your spiritual insights between you and God, you and source, you and spirit. Unless someone is both ready, if they're both ready to and they want to hear it. Before both of those things are at play, um, you're going to be casting your pearls before swine, just necessarily. And it's not that you are misplaced in wanting to help someone. It's just that it's a question of what is useful. If you have this spiritual wisdom but they're not ready to hear it, how wise are you for trying to make them hear it anyway? Just a thought. So remember to be discerning in your audience. If they are ready to hear it, make sure that you scaffold the spiritual lessons that you're presenting to the person's understanding. Meet them where they're at, right? The don't cast pearls before swine lesson is a Jesus lesson. And he taught mostly with parables, with stories. And that's because these stories give everyone a handhold at every level. They can take something out of it, whether or not they take the deepest spiritual lesson, right? They take what they're ready for from the story. It meets them where they're at, right? Remember that some revelations are just for you, right? They're between you and source, you and God. There's a good C.S. Lewis quote. He says, "Never make a principle out of your experience. Let God be as original with other people as he is with you." So this is in remembering that we might have had a particular path that's taught us particular lessons, but we have to be in remembrance of the fact that we're always given. Our path was for the lessons that we needed to learn, and that they were for spirit to show. When you try to teach people the exact same lessons in the exact same ways that you have learned them, they don't always land in the same way. And yes, sometimes God, Spirit, Source will use you as an instrument to teach these lessons, especially if you've asked for this. But it's a discernment thing to be able to know when to put your foot on the gas and when to take it off. When to say, like, this person needs to learn it in their own way. Or even, it's really difficult when you realize that they have to learn it the hard way. That the easy way might be learning from you secondhand. but they're not hearing you, or it's not landing, and they're going to have to learn it the hard way. Let them have their own unique path. There's a little bit of a quote from the Matrix here, which I think will land for someone. Okay, I'm just getting to skip this part. So, suffice to say, not everyone is ready to take the red pill. And most importantly, not everyone wants to. So don't try to give it to them. Don't try to force it down their throat. Most especially, and this is hard, but don't bother with people who have shown you that they are unwilling to do the work. They might love hearing you talk, and you realize at the end of it, they didn't get the lesson, but they did siphon some energy. If they have inner resistance to work through, even if they're not energetically doing this, they need to work through that inner resistance, and it's not your job to work through it for them. You can't do it for them. You can't do this work for them. They have to do it for themselves. Allow people to show you who they are, and believe them when they show you. You can give people multiple chances if you feel so inclined, if that's where your guidance takes you. But believe it when they show you who they are and what they're ready for. We might want through sheer will for them to be at our level, especially if they're a partner or a dear friend or a parent. But we can't make that happen for them, especially if they're unwilling to do the work. So that's a starting energy. Let's see what the tarot has to say. I'm just seeing, the sky's all gray around me and quite dark, and it's still raining on me. But on the trees, above the trees on the horizon, they're bright white clouds, and I can even see some blue. I was just hearing, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. We should celebrate when we see someone clearly. Even if what we see makes us sad, even if it's disappointing, because it means we can move our energy accordingly with that new understanding. It actually helps us to move through the world in much better ways that help us, but also help them. There's a large degree to which we can enable people who like our shiny words, but are using us as an energetic crutch rather than doing the work themselves. Let's see what the tarot has for you. We're going to be looking at the Modern Witch Tarot. It's a popular deck. For good reason. It's a beautiful deck. You guys wanting something else? Tarot of the Divine. Another card. Sorry guys, just trying to discern. Did you want more on this? Another card from here. That's all the decks I brought, and I don't want any more from any of them. But we're also not done. You know, it's a melancholy energy. It's a heavy energy that I'm picking up on. But it's not yours. Huh. Oh man. I'm sorry guys, it's such a bummer to talk about this. We sometimes don't realize the degree to which people are using us as energetic crutches. The degree to which they're plugged into us. And how much they get our juicy, bright energy that bolsters them, and how much we get in return heavy rain cloud energy. It's not an equal exchange. It's not a fair exchange. It's not just in the sense of balanced. The most important thing we can do is withdraw our consent. And separate ourselves energetically to the degree that we can. And it will start small, and they will get upset. Something I've learned about energy. We all need it. But the energies and the entities and the people and the thought forms, however you want to conceive of these, however you imagine them, that depend on other people's energy, don't want to give it up. They don't want their food source taken away. Refuse to be the food source. That's what the Matrix is. Spoiler for the Matrix if you haven't seen it. But everyone in the Matrix is living in their minds in a simulated reality, while their bodies have been plugged in as sort of organic batteries to feed. To feed creatures that rely on this energy. It's deeply disturbing to realize that you have been doing this willingly, not explicitly, but implicitly, tacitly. But it's very freeing to unplug yourself from these energies. And to plug yourself in to bigger, more beautiful, more loving energies. The harmony of universal love, the energy of Mother Earth, the energy of the sun and the moon, the energy of spirit. When you move out of small codependent relationships that keep you small, that dim your light by siphoning it in a million different directions, that keep you a battery for other people and for systems. And when you choose yourself, plug back into yourself, when you become that parabolic energy circuit, that's when you can really start living a life that's for you. And spirit backs that 1,000%. It's when you become free. Anything else, guys? No, that's about the sum of it. I'm sorry it's a heavy energy. It's a stark realization. But when you realize the heavy energy is not yours, that's the heaviest part. Because when you slough it off, you're free. And you can float higher and higher without the sandbags that were holding you down before. It's what everybody should be doing. They will realize it for themselves sooner or later, if not in this lifetime, sometime down the road. But you can't do it for them. And you can help yourself and the world so much more by releasing them. When you choose yourself, spirit can choose you in the fullest, most spectacular way. And through you, the light that can be shown when you cease giving it away in a million different directions is blindingly bright and so, so beautiful. If you're just at the beginning of realizing this, of going through this process, that's the hardest part. You're doing great, though. You're doing great. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.